This is Charter Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance. We are joined by Ara Najarian and Marina Khubesrian. Ara is a member, he is actually the mayor of the city of Glendale on the Metro Board, the Metro Link Board. Marina is on the South Pasadena City Council, and we are sitting in the San Gabriel Valley today. They have partnered as part of an organization called Beyond the 710 Coalition. For our viewers, could you give us a sense of what we have between the 710 and the 210? I mean, these are very significant issues in the San Gabriel Valley along the 10 freeway, and I'm not sure what's up at the 210 freeway. I can't tell. Give us a sense.
What we have as far as a proposal from Metro. So the EIR is the Metro EIR that is addressing the traffic issues in the 710 corridor, 710 North project as they call it. They've put forth 5 alternatives for a potential solution to move cars essentially. And the leading alternative is now the tunnel, which is an underground 4.5 mile tunnel, 60 foot wide, 150 feet below ground, and it would connect the north end of the current 710 where it ends the terminus to the 210 in Pasadena.
So give us a sense though, Ara, if you can, Marina, thank you.
Yeah.
What is happening in that gap, that 4 or 5 mile gap between the 710 and the 210? Tell us what cities are there and what the issue is.
So this is a route that bisects several communities, Brad. The fallacy of the argument is that cars that enter the south end are making a beeline to the north end in Pasadena and not making any left or right turns, and they're going straight through. Our traffic studies show that only 13% of the cars that are on that road go from the very southern tip to the very northern tip. The rest of the traffic, as you would imagine, are folks running errands, driving within their community, going back and forth.
But is this gap, this 5 mile gap, let's say, that goes through Los Angeles, South Pasadena, not quite Glendale, is it compacted? Is it congested?
At certain times of the day, during rush hour, as are many other streets and boulevards in the Los Angeles region, there is some traffic, but largely dissipating once the rush hour ends. Yes.
Yeah, there's actually our transportation consultant, Nelson Nygaard, they have identified that there has not been significant increase in traffic at various key intersections, such as on Fair Oaks and on Fremont, north of the 110 freeway. So that indicates to us that the majority of additional traffic might be up to the 110, trying to go east and west. So like Ara mentioned, the majority, over 80%, 85% of the traffic that is currently coming off that that freeway at the 710 terminus is really trying to get to a local destination.
But do you feel as if we do need a solution to close that gap between the 710 and the 210? A solution for the 21st century as opposed to small fixes on the margins?
Yes, we absolutely do feel that, and that is why we got together with other cities like Pasadena, Glendale, Sierra Madre, La Cañada, and worked with our transportation consultant to really bring a 21st century vision to this corridor. And
in your mind, a 21st century solution is not a tunnel.
Absolutely.
Why?
Well, to quote Shakespeare, how do I loathe thee? Let me count the ways.
Count the ways for us.
The price is astronomical, and it will be fiscally irresponsible for Metro or any other organization to start digging this tunnel. The idea is that they would have tolls on it to pay for the project. The tolls, this is not a freeway. The tolls that are anticipated are going to be over $20, up to $40 each way to ride in that tunnel.
That's not in dispute? I mean, that seems...
That is not in dispute, Brad. The model is that this would be a public-private partnership in which there would be funds and revenue generated from the tunnel.
So you're saying that under the proposal, if I enter, it's going to cost me $20 to get through?
At least $20.
Okay.
Because of the cost of the project, currently estimated at $5.7 billion, and that's a very conservative and unrealistic cost.
And where is the money coming from at this stage?
Brad, it's a funding model that can't stand on its own 2 legs. Metro has about $1 billion to pay for this. The P3, the tolls, can generate maybe another $1 billion. Where's the other money coming from? You're talking about a gap. It's not a freeway gap.
Right.
It's not a transportation gap. It's a funding gap. It can't be done.
Congestion pricing is popular these days. I mean, there's no question. We look along the 10, along the 60 in Orange County. You know, you have the fast track passes. So do you have an issue with the notion of congestion pricing? Because some call it regressive, you know, only the wealthy can pay. I mean, that's really wealthy for $20 a shot, but are you philosophically opposed to congestion pricing?
No, I think Metro has shown that congestion pricing is a valid and accepted way to monitor the demand for the freeways.
I want to ask you, doctor, because you are a doctor,
I am a medical doctor.
a medical doctor, about health consequences. As I understand it, your coalition is concerned about how the tunnel would impact public health. Explain, please.
Yes. So the environmental impact study itself, in its appendix tables, identifies that the increase in cancer risk would be an additional 149 cases of cancer in 1 million.
How? Why? Explain.
So at the portals of the tunnel, which is where the tunnel would be vented. So there are no other ventilation stacks. It's just at each entry and at the exit of the tunnel where the portals would be. So these would be giant, large towers, and where air's collected and blown and filtered out. So what we know about the content of diesel particles, microparticles, you cannot filter those. There's no current technology.
Oh, really?
You cannot. There is no technology that can filter particles under a particular size, under 10 microns.
They're microns, right.
They're microns. And then also there's gases, and you can't really filter those either. So with the particulate matter itself, and this has also been confirmed by the AQMD, by the EPA, Environmental Protection, U.S. EPA, that actually has identified significant increase in the cancer risk.
Is the problem, because those particulates would be in the air anyway if those cars were driving without the tunnel, but is it because it's concentrated in those stacks?
Yes, the tunnel concentrates them and spews them out, and then they come down. So they would create something called hotspots.
In South Pasadena?
In Pasadena and in LA, but we're
but
right
just
in the
next
middle.
to South
and
Pass.
the entire region.
Right.
And
Please,
in addition, Brad, there's something called supply-induced demand. So once you build this tunnel, vehicles that were traveling during different times of the day, that were taking different modes to get to where they had to go, taking other freeways, are now going to be pouring through that tunnel.
Will they at $20 a pop?
Well, the truckers will. That's nothing. That's a couple coffees along their road.
What is your, I mean, in a minute or less, what's your solution?
Our solution is that we look at a multimodal approach. We identify what the real issue is. The real issue is east-west demand. That's
Now
what
that's
the demand
interesting
is.
because that, you really think about it, everyone has been focused on north-south, and
Yeah.
you're changing the paradigm.
That's right. If we concentrate on funding the goal line that we can all get behind, both
Which
extensions.
is so far at this point is too far north, is that right?
We're looking for a connection between the Pasadena Gold Line and the new East Side Extension Gold Line, which is just to the south. So if we can make that connection,
too far south,
it would be a great addition.
It would take a lot more people off the streets, a lot more cars off the streets.
Well, you're on the Metro board. Come on, make it happen.
You can do that.
Are you on the Gold Line Extension board?
Metro will be running the Gold Line soon.
All right, it's all in your, in your grasp.
But Brad, Marina and I are here to state that all public officials who are supporting this tunnel should now abandon it and move forward with a sustainable plan that's going to improve transportation for the entire region.
He said it here. My name is Brad Pomerance. This is Charter Local Edition.